Best new business startup ideas. You looking to start a new business? I've done it over 16 times. I've helped hundreds. You've come to the right place. As entrepreneurs and business owners, we know that if we have a clear plan, anything becomes possible. And if you can have a clear plan, a clear process to create that plan, and a way to create clarity with your partner or spouse, you can drive to amazing heights. All right, so if you're currently sitting there working for somebody else and like, man, I don't know, I think I'd like to go out and start my own gig. Right on. First off, good for you for even thinking about it. It's wonderful. And it has never been easier or safer to do it. So, first off, there's 4 different steps we're going to talk about. But when you go through with this, the number one thing to start with is, what are you looking to get out of this? If you can start with the end in mind, meaning it's not just about money. A lot of times it's actually more advantageous to work for somebody. But if you're thinking, I want to work for myself, I'm asking you to think about, on a holistic level, what does amazing look like for your life? Now, if you want, you go to our website, aspiringsolopreneur.com. About 2/3 of the way down, there's on the site there's a tool called the balance wheel. You can take this, and this actually helps you define where you are today in life. And then you can start to think about, how can you integrate a business into this? Most people choose to start a business and then they try and make their life fit with the business. I'm going to encourage you to think about it differently. Start by defining what you want your life to look like, and then figure out what is the business and ideal structure that you can use to implement with it. So the second thing is, once you define what you want your life to look like, and again, there's 4 quadrants, there's 12 sections in there. It's easy, it doesn't cost anything, have at it. But once you do that, then it's important to step back and start thinking about, what are the things that you love and you have skill sets in? What are those areas that, man, I'm good at this and I really enjoy doing this? And what are the different aspects? And again, in the book, we go through and we talk about all of this. How do you find those pieces? I've worked with some people who are like, oh yeah, I'm a rocket scientist, literally, and I want to go start a cafe. I'm just like, you have a job that somebody will pay you $500 an hour for, and you want to go get a job that requires you to be at work at 5 in the morning and you make $30 an hour? It doesn't always compute. People aren't always thinking about those things. But if you think about, well, I like being around people, I like working with things, think about what are the motivations around those things. And okay, so maybe there's other pieces that you like it. Maybe it's a low stress, who knows what it is. There's a million different motivations. But once you start thinking about, okay, when you list that out, this is where I want to go, 1. 2, I have these skills, great. With these skills, okay, great. Now of these skills, what are the things that apply in this that I really love? And where do these 3 things sort of vector in together? Where do they have that overlap? But I'm willing to bet that if you start looking at it in a different way, you have an amazing skill set in some form or another of something. It may even be a hobby. It may be in something you love. But start looking at those areas and start to say, okay, well, I want to have my lifestyle that allows me to do these things. Great. This is kind of the area I'm starting to think about, and I would be interested in doing it. And remember, you're doing this safely. You're still working your regular gig. Everything's good. But once you start to narrow down to, it might be something around this, well, then I'm going to encourage you to go out and act as if you were in that position and you were trying to solve that problem. So if you wanted to do whatever the action or the business you're thinking, say, okay, well, what am I solving? Well, it's for graphic design, or it's for marketing or sales, or who knows what it is. But if you're in that position, if you are a potential client, how would you solve it? And what I mean by this is actually go out and go on Google, start asking around, find out who's doing it, who's already solving this problem. And when you start finding people who are solving those problems, it's going to help you to start narrow into seeing where it is I want to be. Is this what I want to look for? Is this where I'm at? Is this something that's interesting? How is this being solved? Do I think I would like this? What does that fit like? And just do it from an observation level. But then the next step would be to go to the next level and start actually asking, and call up some people and say, hey, you got a few minutes? And it's like, look, I'm exploring looking into doing this business, and I would love to get your feedback. Now, there may be some people who don't want to talk to you about it, but you'll be amazed. Most entrepreneurs love love, love, love it when somebody says, hey, I'm interested in what you do. Would you be willing to talk to me about it? And when that happens, it's going to help you to start learning about what's working for them and what isn't. And you can start looking at that. And then lastly, once you decide, yeah, I'm really interested in this, you're going to need to build a formal plan. Build a team of advisors, build the plan, and you can do all this again without ever jumping ship until you're ready. And that's actually at Aspiring Solopreneur. We have a full course on this, and you're welcome to check it out. And if you have feedback, by all means, please reach out. But when it comes to figuring out what is the best business idea for startup, it really comes down to who you are, what your skills are, what you want your life to look like, and then for you to start building into that. There's a million different ideas out there, but it's a matter of figuring out how's it getting solved so that you can vet it and figure out what works best for you. So ideally, you found some value with this. If you did, please subscribe to the channel, check out some of the other videos on the site, and if you have questions, by all means, reach out. Keep smiling.